Sounds correct. Welcome, Realm family, to another episode of Wrestling with the Realm podcast. I'm Brian, one half of the Power and Glory of Wrestling podcast, and on the other side, he is the Hercules to my Paul Roma. He's my guy, Will. Will, what are we talking about?
Guys, we got SummerSlam in Minnesota 2026. I I'm so happy with this pay-per-view, guys, and I'm so
Ooh.
excited to talk about it. I I think I'm gonna say it right now before we even get into it. Professional wrestling is back. It is
Oh, that's a hot take.
back. We are so back, and I'm loving a lot about this pay-per-view. But before we get into that, guys, please right now like the video, subscribe to the channel
Yes.
before I get into it. Here at WWR, we do a lot of fun stuff. We review all the pay-per-views. We got overrated, underrated coming out soon, and you guys definitely don't want to miss that. So just
True.
like and subscribe right now before we get into it. All right, Brian, you ready for this one? It's a
I
it's a hot topic to start night one.
listen, Will, hearing you say that you're saying it, WWE is back. That is a bold statement. I have a similar feeling, but I don't think I'm going to go that far.
You're
So
not ready yet. That's
I'm,
okay.
I'm not ready to say we're back, but I will say maybe we might not be so much back as we are recycling and merging two different eras together. I'll get into it as we go because
All right.
I feel like creative is taking a different direction recently, and I'm not saying it's bad. It might not be for everybody. For everybody who really liked Cody finishing his story and peak storytelling, you might not be happy about this, which I'm a fan of that, but I'm also a fan of what I'm going to talk about later. So,
Yeah.
all right, get us into it, Will.
All right. Brian, we got Liv Morgan, the champion, versus Io Sky, the challenger for the Women's World Championship. And we have Liv Morgan, I feel like shockingly retaining in this match. I was a little shocked by the result. And at the moment, I'm not gonna lie to you, Brian, not thrilled with it. But
Hmm.
it sat with me. It sat with me, and I'm kind of happy we did it. I did it. And this match, if you were to tell me this was probably your favorite match of night one, I would not disagree with you.
True.
This match was an absolute banger. Much, much, much better than their Night of Championship match. And you want to know what, Brian? That's not shocking because if you give these two 15 minutes to wrestle and you don't have interference from Danhausen,
Yeah.
you're probably going to have a good match. So I was, this is a big thumbs up for me, Brian, the match
Hmm.
itself. And I am probably going to watch this one again too,
Oh,
because you want to know what? These two have phenomenal chemistry together and they've had for a while. And with their Night of Champions match being a little bit disappointing, I'm really happy that we have a good, solid body of work from these two. And yeah, I'm thrilled with the start of this pay-per-view. A little hard-hitting physical match between these two. By the way, the ending of that match, the ending sequence where you have Liv go for Oblivion, Io hit the handstand out of Oblivion,
yeah.
counter it to get code breakered right back into another Oblivion was the perfect ending to this match. It just shows you how good Io Sky is, along with how creative Liv Morgan's offense is. And
Hmm.
I think we talked about, earlier when we started this podcast, Liv got so creative with her offense, and that's how she improved so much in the ring. It has not stopped. It has not stopped. She continues to be innovative in the ring. I think that's the part that impresses me most about Liv Morgan. And that's why, as long as she defends this title, I'm okay with her keeping it. I really am. And we have some new challengers on Monday Night Raw coming back. Stephanie Vaquer. Becky Lynch. So I'm really excited for the state of this title, which, if you asked me before this pay-per-view, I would not be. So, Brian, this one gets two thumbs up from me. How are you feeling about this one?
Everybody knows I'm Mr. Liv Morgan fan, so I like this match. I get that everybody is kind of upset that she didn't defend the title, but if I'm sitting there in the writer's room, I'm going, okay, who are we feuding her with in the interim before we get to this match with Io Sky? That's what the problem is who are we going to throw in there against her? You don't want to pull the Roxanne Perez ripcord yet or the Raquel Rodriguez ripcord. You don't want to do that. You can't do that yet because we're saving those for the right time. So I think that WWE was spinning their tires with her, waiting for the Io Sky match, waiting for Stephanie Vaquer to come back. We kind of felt that. We all know that. Give them some leeway. At least when she gets on TV, it's fun. That's the one thing that we talked about when she was out with her injury is that Monday Night Raw really felt like it had a void of, I don't want to say entertainment because the whole thing is entertainment, but that fun energy that when she's on the screen, regardless of what she's doing, you're watching and you're getting some entertainment out of it. So I give a lot of leeway with the not defending the belt. What bothered me at Night of Champions with the Io Sky match, everybody knows now, was the Danhausen interference in the beginning because you blow the ending of the match. It felt stilted because we have Io Sky go over. It feels like it was all for nothing because she loses this match, but it was the right call. It was a fun match. I feel like they gave Liv and EO the opener. They gave them the Shawn Michaels spot. Go out there, try to get the crowd into this, get the show started. Um, I thought it was good. I thought the crowd wasn't that great on night one. Again, we've been seeing that a lot lately, by the way. WrestleMania and some of these two-night stadium shows for the big four. That night one sometimes the crowd's kind of dead, and night two kind of picks it up. So I don't understand why. I don't know. It's weird, but I've been noticing it every single time. Uh, but it was a good match. I think you're right on the money with Liv. She's constantly trying to add more to her repertoire, if you will, in the ring, and I think that she does that. And her and Io actually mix really well together. I think their styles go really well. Because, like you said, with the Oblivion counter into a code breaker into another Oblivion, the way that they work together really lends itself to a lot of those combinations where you get a lot of counters to moves into
Hmm.
something else. You think it's a setup for one thing and it turns into something else, and that's all very exciting. It's it's very Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. Nobody get mad at me about that. I'm not trying to say that Shawn and Bret are as good as EO and Liv, so everybody calm down. Um, but it's good. It was a good match. I was happy with it. I was glad that Liv won. I'm excited that we're progressing that story, bringing Becky Lynch in and Stephanie Vaquer. I think that that's a good way for it to go. And as long as we keep building up to hopefully that Shawn Michaels and Diesel spot with her and Raquel, even though it looks like they might go Roxanne, I'm fine with all of that. I think it's all fun. It was a good time. I give it a thumbs up. I'm not going to watch it again though, but a good
Fair.
match.
All right, Brian. Let's move on to honestly maybe the least interesting match of all of SummerSlam. We have LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, and Royce Keys versus the Usos and Jacob Fatu. I I seriously only have two notes for this match. Solo Sikoa is so over. He is hilarious,
Yeah.
and that is probably the only highlight of the actual match. I mean, it's not bad. It's just very Monday Night Raw. My second note is why not have the street fight you put on between Royce Keys and Jacob Fatu in this spot that you had on Monday Night Raw versus this match itself? Because we'll get to it when we talk about Fatal Influence versus the Bellas and Paige. Having two 6 person tag matches on the same night of SummerSlam kind of just felt really slow and
Mm,
it felt kind of pointless, especially when the two matches themselves were not great. So I don't know, Brian. That's all I got for you on this one. I like that Solo ran it back
yes.
and got the crowd eating. Um, yeah, thumbs down on the match. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't
Yeah.
SummerSlam worthy, and I'm not gonna watch it again. So there you go. That's all I got for you.
Yeah. You're, look, it's weird to me that what we have for LA Knight is six-man tags. It's weird
Yeah,
that it was with the Usos at WrestleMania. Then we get to SummerSlam and it's the same thing, just remixed. You're right, Solo. Solo always works really well when he's trying to be silly,
hmm
and it works. I'm glad that he ran it back. It made me happy because I felt like it was an acknowledgement of fucking stupid that is when they do it in the match. I hate it.
yeah,
I hate it when they do that. This was the one time when I liked it. But
yeah.
we get into the match and I go, the match is totally fine, but it doesn't seem SummerSlam worthy. I get that we're trying to work it into something else, which I'm fine with. I am happy with LA Knight being used as the Stone Cold Steve Austin lone wolf character. I like that. I've been asking for that for a long time. Quit doing it half, just bring him in and just put him into that slot. They're doing that now. That makes me happy. I like that. I like that getting Solo on board with that. It's kind of a rogues gallery for LA Knight. It's like kind of the island of misfit toys. And then you have
Yeah.
Royce Keys who can't get a break ever. Um, which again, my guy Jermaine, I know Jermaine, I'm with you. We all feel the same way, but I'm going to tell you guys what I told my guy Jermaine, and this is going into what I was bringing up earlier. I feel like we're starting to mix two eras of WWE. We're taking the golden age of the 80s and 90s, and we're taking the Attitude Era, and we're kind of slowly merging those two together with the way that I feel like they've been starting to tell stories. The way that they're booking, uh, when we were kids, not you, Will, but when I was a kid, and you'd watch Saturday morning WWF Superstars, you would watch that show and you would get Big Boss Man versus Johnny Valiant or some nonsense. You know, you would be against some local guy who's a jobber. And it's a quick match. You get to see the guys you like and they beat a bunch of nobodies. We're doing the same thing today, only today in 2026 WWE, we know the jobbers' names. Every once in a while, you get lucky as a kid, and it would be like, it'd be like Ultimate Warrior versus the Brooklyn Brawler. You're like, oh yeah, I kind of know the Brooklyn Brawler, but he's a jobber. Today's jobbers, and I hate saying this, nobody get mad at me because this is not a knock on these guys. Matt Cardona, Royce Keys, um, LA Knight, even to a certain extent, but he's being elevated out of that. These guys are there to take L's, and it's not a knock on those guys. I love Matt Cardona deeply, and I like
Yeah.
Royce Keys, but oh, that's the other one. Say his name and he will job. Joe Hendry the jobber. Like Joe Hendry is the same way. He's a name that they brought in. What has Joe Hendry done but take losses and elevate other talent? I don't know what to think of that because in today's wrestling, we look at that as a slight. I don't want anybody to misconstrue what I'm saying. I know you get what I'm saying, Will. I'm not
Oh,
calling these guys jobbers. I'm saying the way that they're booked is they're being booked that way. And I understand it because back in the day, that's how you would do it. Now we have names to these guys. But then we're also booking things with a little bit more edge and a little bit more. Sami Zayn can be your champion. Chelsea Green can be your champion. That's Attitude Era stuff where anybody had a chance to win a championship. If you
yeah.
turned on Monday night, you might see Test walk away with the IC championship on any given night. Like they're taking these two eras and they're kind of blending them, and I don't think it's bad.
No.
And I think that this six-man tag team match kind of exemplifies that. That's the kind of stuff that would have been done in both of those eras and have it on a pay-per-view. But much like then, it doesn't mean that the match was good and it was your favorite part of the show. So I'm giving thumbs down to the match, and I'm not going to watch it again. It's no knock on these guys. It's just, it is what it is. But
Yeah.
yeah,
All right, Brian. Next match, Gunther versus Nick Aldis. I was in the mood last podcast, y'all, and I said some
yeah,
things, my guy Magnus, that just probably weren't super true. I mean, he's had a long career and a long body of work, so you're gonna have some stinkers in there every once in a while. But he told me to eat in this match
he
because
did.
Gunther versus
He
Nick
did.
Aldis
He
was a
did.
phenomenal match. It really was, and Nick Aldis is a former two-time NWA champion for a reason, guys, and he showed it. He showed it. Gunther was the perfect dancing partner for him
Yeah.
because you have the guy coming out of retirement, or now who knows, he could be wrestling a little bit more full time now. But regardless, it's been 3.5 years since his last match. And that's the perfect guy to put with Gunther because you play the role of Gunther dominates early. Nick Aldis comes back. There's moments of hope in the match.
Hmm.
And then Gunther eventually fades the lights out with the sleeper hold. And Nick Aldis taps out. But during this match, Nick Aldis looked extremely strong. And it's the type of style that matches well with a Gunther. It's similar to a Gunther versus Sheamus
Yep.
type of match where it's hard hitting and there's a lot of holds during the match. And if you are into that slower, little bit more old school style of wrestling, this match is definitely for you. I know me and Brian can both get down with that
Yeah.
style of wrestling. So I thoroughly enjoyed this match. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching it with my pops. I'm like, Dad, I was talking a little Magnus. Like,
You
I'm gonna have to
were.
eat my words here. I'm gonna have to eat my words here because this is a really good match for him. But he does have like, and my dad said it best. I was like, I was kind of thinking more of his early 2010s TNA he was doing. And my dad said everyone sucked in early 2010s TNA. So it's not just Nick
Yes.
Aldis.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, yeah, it's a really good point, Dad. I'm gonna bring that up on the podcast because,
True.
early 2010s TNA is probably some of the worst professional wrestling of all time. They were bringing Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff in, and that was some real bad stuff. So my bad, Nick, all this. I definitely eating my words because this was a phenomenal match and Nick Aldis definitely still has it. I would be interested in him just giving that role up and just becoming a full-time wrestler. Like that's how I feel after that match. And if you can make somebody feel that way after that match, like you did a really good job. He definitely still has it. And, kind of just for the reason of like he came out first match in 3.5 years and he did what he did. This match does get a thumbs up. And you want to know what? For that reason, like I would watch it again because I really did enjoy this match and it is a nice change of pace, especially with like a SummerSlam. And we will talk about it when we get to night two and a little bit towards the end of night one, like you get these finisher fest type of matches, and they're so like bang, 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 bang. You like a slowed down submission, slower pace match is definitely a great change of pace, and they did that well here. Brian, what are your thoughts on this match?
Man, I was cracking up when Nick Aldis came out. All I could think about was you, Will.
Hmm.
Will is just like, nobody get excited. Got bad news for everybody. And then the match started, and I was like, look at Nick Aldis go. He's
I know,
working it. Like
such
it
a
was
hater.
it was a good match. They have a lot of guys in WWE, a lot of superstars that they have to protect. Gunther is one of them. Gunther, it's hard for them to book him taking a loss, let alone a clean loss, because they want to keep his aura, because his job is to take out legends and have these types of matches. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Gunther building that reputation that this is what he does because eventually we're going to get an awesome payoff with like Obafemi or something, which is what I've been clamoring for. So for me, I watch this match. It's everything that I thought it would be. You know what you're going to get in a Gunther match. Either that's your thing or it's not. I understand that, but for me, I don't think it's bad because it has a place in what they do in the stories that they tell. Not everybody can be Javon Evans. Like you have to have the counter to that. It's like playing Pokemon back in the day. Will, you know all about Pokemon
I
cards.
love
Like
Pokemon.
if you have a water deck, somebody else is going to have a fire deck. You have to have that contrast, and Gunther fits that bill. He does that. So, all of that being said, it was a damn entertaining match, and I had a lot of fun watching it. It felt old school, which tickles me in the feels. So, thumbs up. And you know what? I'm going to watch this match again because I feel like at some point with Gunther, we're going to get to a super huge match at a WrestleMania where
Yeah,
we're going to go back and we're going to have to watch all of these big matches that he had, you know, Goldberg, John Cena, just going through the list of all of these big wins that he has against these guys. And this is going to slot into that nicely. So I was
yeah.
happy to watch it. It was nice to see that after the ho hum 6-man tag that happened right before it.
Speaking of ho hum 6 woman tag matches, Fatal Influence versus Nikki Bella, Brie Bella, and Paige. That's all I got, guys. They turned on Paige after the match. I That's all I got. I don't have, and it's no disrespect to them. There's just nothing here. There is literally nothing here. Brie Bella got hurt. It sucks. It seems like anytime they have a storyline with the Bellas, one of them gets hurt,
Yeah.
and that's unfortunate.
Yep.
Feel bad for them, but yeah. Brian, you got any thoughts on that match?
Well, wait, you didn't rate it, Will.
Oh, yeah, my
Okay.
bad. My bad.
Okay.
How about you?
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to echo that. Thumbs down for the match, and I'm not watching it again. So,
No, no
okay.
disrespect. No
No.
disrespect.
No,
But
and the best way that I can describe this, and no, it is no disrespect. I feel like I'm saying that about the Bellas every time we come on here. I don't I don't dislike them. I think that I like the Bellas. And that's double tough to go out there. You have an injury and you finish, so you go Brie Bella. You go Glen Coco. Um, but then you have Paige. I'm so happy that they turned on Paige because I turned on Paige like 6 months ago or whenever she showed back up, and I was like, get her out of here. She doesn't need to be here. I don't, man. No, I'm not going to be that mean. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to be that mean. Um, she doesn't need to be there for as much as Nikki Bella and Brie Bella have come back, and the flowers that I constantly give them are they are women out of time. They're like any movie or any story you've ever seen where, okay, Marty McFly in Back to the Future is a man out of time. He doesn't fit in the era that he's in. The Bellas come from a different era and they work their off to be able to get into the ring now and to be able to go with today's style and era of wrestling, and I commend them for that. Because I think that they've done a pretty good job with that. They've had some stories that they're able to elevate, and all of that is fine. Paige brings it right back down to the era that they were in before. And
Mhm.
I don't mean to sound like too harsh about that, but nothing like because Fatal Influence, regardless of if people have warmed up to them or not, if you watched NXT, they can go, you guys. They can do
Yeah, yeah.
storyline. They can work. Um, I feel like they're trying to kind of get their groove. Look, it took Penta like over a year to I think adjust to the style at WWE. So I don't worry about Fatal Influence so much, but in this match, I feel like having not so much the Bellas, but you put Paige in there, and I think it handcuffs them a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, so for that reason, it was a match. But again, this is the kind of stuff we would have seen in the Attitude Era, only it would have been horrible, like a Braun Panties match or something. And you know what I mean? It just would have been horrible. Vince Russo
Probably,
would have been in the back.
unfortunately, yeah.
Bro, we have to do the Braun Panties, bro. Everybody wants to see that. We'll do a swerve, and Paige will come out and they'll turn on her, bro. That somewhere Jim Cornette is like, God, stay, I can hear him. So yeah, it's a thumbs down. It was a match, but I'm not watching it again. And Bella Twins, I got you guys. Paige, I got no use for you. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, Brian. Let's go to the undisputed WWE Championship match between the champion CM Punk and the challenger Cody Rhodes. This match, I just still am questioning how I feel about it. Well, first of all, let's get out the way. It's been a minute, y'all. It's been a minute. Even on these good PLEs, we gotta have a shockmaster moment of the night. And Phil put the helmet on for us tonight because that moonsault was not it, old man. Stay off the ropes. Stay off the ropes, Phil, because
Oh, Phil.
I don't know if we can throw it in here right now, but man, he was
Oh.
not close on that one.
Look, I'm going to jump in here on the Shockmaster moment because I saw that and I was like, what are you doing? And then I was like, hold on a second. I'm thinking about it and I'm like, okay, Punk, come on. And I go, where have I seen that before? That's terrible. Okay. Anybody, if you're super old school, you have to ask your dad, Will, and throw it by
Yeah.
him and see if he goes, wait a minute, hold on. I think it was an homage to Terry Funk. I think he was trying to give a little shout out to the great Terry Funk. Phil, I think what you should do, Phil, is go up there and do one of my moonsaults. I told you, Phil, but you got to make sure you miss. So I think he was doing Terry Funk, but here's where the Shockmaster part comes in that I'll go, I'm keeping it as a Shockmaster. You still miss, though.
He
Like
missed.
you still miss Phil. I appreciate the sentiment, and I'm sure somewhere Terry. Wait, have we lost Terry? I don't know if we've
Yes.
lost Terry or not. We have.
I'm almost 100%
I'm
sure.
pretty sure we lost Terry a while ago.
Yeah, that was like last year, I think.
What is that? What it was? Was it last year? Oh man,
Yeah, August. Oh no, 2 years ago, August 23rd, 2023.
Chainsaw Charlie. This one's for you,
Yeah.
buddy. So yeah, I think he was doing a Terry Funk. I'm gonna give him that benefit of the doubt, but you still miss though, Phil. So bump
Yeah.
bump boom. Yeah.
No,
But
no,
here's
that's
the okay. But here's the problem though. Not everybody is gonna know that that's a Terry Funk reference. That's a deep cut. That is a deep cut for Phil.
yeah. He's good at that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And Brian, outside of that, this match was slow paced, hard hitting, kind of right up until the end, where we kind of get the finisher fest, the ref bumps, and the long-awaited return of Randy Orton since WrestleMania as he comes out and he blindsides Cody, hits him with the RKO, and 1, 2, 3, Phil capitalizes off of it, and CM Punk retains. I think it was kind of obvious that we were going to get some form of a swerve here. And Randy coming out was almost expected. He got a great pop when it happened. I was excited about it as it was happening. And for the love of the game, let's run it back. No interferences here. Let's just have Cody versus Randy. You can run it 3 times over. Everyone's excited for this. They had a great promo battle on SmackDown to get everybody hyped for it. And then we can eventually revisit this down the line between Cody and Punk, and we can have a clear winner where I'm sure Punk will put Cody over. And, it's something to look forward to down the line. This match was really solid for me, though, Brian. And I was a fan of it outside of when Phil got on them top ropes. But good technical match, hard hitting. So for that reason, Brian, this is a thumbs up of a match. And usually when it comes to something like this, I might not rewatch it, but I feel like we are building off of this moment right here at SummerSlam. So I will rewatch it. It's a double thumbs up for me, Brian. Let me know what you think about this match, though.
So, I'll tell you what, Will, you changed my mind on rewatching this match. I will say that. Um, I like this match. It was fun. Uh, these guys are good workers, so you know what you're going to get. They know how to tell a story in the ring. I've heard a lot of people say they were upset because they thought the pace was too slow. I don't know what you guys have been watching with CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. Why is anybody surprised by the pace of the match? Like that's weird to me. I feel like that's not a good complaint because that's like complaining about the pace of the match in a Gunther match. You know what you're getting.
Yeah.
The thing with CM Punk, we went over the Shockmaster moment. I was nervous for him when he went up to the top rope, to the top turnbuckle, when he was going to go outside the ring onto Cody on that announce table. And those little knees were a little wobbling. And I'm like, dude,
He
Phil,
was shaky.
dude, it's getting late in this match. Maybe you got to be careful on this one. Um, and I've said before, I do like the way that Punk works in the match because he's old now and I'm old now and he reminds me of me. And I like that he can sell it during the match that it's a struggle for him. And that works for him. I like that. But the thing I don't like, and I don't need to see it again, I do not want to see the spot in a CM Punk match ever again where he hits the go to sleep, the person bounce off the ropes and lands right back on his shoulder and he has to power him up. And it's, oh, so heavy. I can barely do it. I don't need to see that anymore. We have done that
You're
spot
gonna see
into exhaustion. Don't
it.
need it.
You're
We
gonna
need to
see
come
it.
up with something better than doing that spot. So that's like my one big complaint about it is that I feel like sometimes when we see the same spot over and over again with the same guys, it gets a little repetitive. Um, Other than that, it was a good championship match. We got the return of Randy Orton. We got a lot of returns at this SummerSlam,
Oh yeah, we did.
which again, that felt old school too. That felt very Attitude Era. Uh, and then there was a lot of people getting congratulations and calling family members into the ring afterwards, and a lot of "I did it, woohoo!" And that feels very golden age. That feels very 80s and 90s after a big win, and we have to have a over the top celebration. Um, so having Randy come back, Jermaine, they took your idea. It just took them a while to get to this booking that you had months
Oh,
ago at WrestleMania. Uh, bring Randy back in. This helps them in storytelling because, as I was just saying, they got a lot of guys at the top that they have to protect. And not everybody can have a championship, and you can't do what AEW does and just keep making a new title. You just can't make a new title for a group of people to go after because they have to have something to fight for. Sometimes, as Jim Cornette will say, it there needs to be more than just a title involved. It has to be personal. And Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes makes it personal. Punk always does a good job trying to make it feel more personal than just about a title. So it's good. It's good for storytelling that Randy is back. It allows Cody to move into a program that doesn't involve the championship. He needs distance from it. So all of this is working for me. I agree with you. It'll be nice down the road if we can get a redo and we can get a clean match. Cody and Punk continue to feel very mega powers exploding, leading up to this from Saturday night's main event with the tagging together. Feels very old school, very retro. I love that stuff. So I'm giving the match a thumbs up. And you convinced me. I'm going to watch it again because I think it's going to be important again later down the line. I think they might be writing the creative ship. We've talked about this many times where we're like, we think they shook the Etch-a-Sketch and they're starting over. I think they have done that, but I think they might be finding a secret sauce, hopefully moving through the rest of the year. If they can keep this blend of Golden Age and Attitude Era together, I think it
Mhm.
can keep it exciting because we had some exciting moments in this SummerSlam because they were true surprises. And that's when things work the best, is when it's a big surprise and we get good stuff in the ring. So, yeah, thumbs up. I'm going to watch it again.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, Brian, let's talk about I think it's a semi-controversial main event here
Yeah.
for a lot of people. We got Brock Lesnar in his final match versus Obafemi, Hell in a Cell. Obafemi comes out on top during this match, but there's a lot of discourse on what was done. Should it have been Hell in a Cell? Why was it Hell in a Cell if they didn't use it? At the end of the day, guys, this is a good match. It is a really good match.
Hmm.
I don't think you guys that are questioning this match really understand the idea of Hell in a Cell, and we've been very spoiled
Hmm.
recently with great Hell in a Cell matches. Edge and Finn Balor at WrestleMania 39 was phenomenal. Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk is one of the greatest Hell in a Cell
It was
matches of
good.
all time. And then you got your nostalgia kick mixed in there with The Undertaker and Foley. And, Brock Lesnar's first appearance in Hell in a Cell was a great match. And there was zero chance they were going outside that Hell in a Cell.
Right.
There was zero chance that Brock Lesnar was going to take a bunch of cell bumps. It just wasn't going to happen. So that being said, they did a bunch of stuff during this match to make it entertaining. And I was a fan of a lot of the spots. I mean, you had to have been there watching it live to understand the shock value of when Brock Lesnar beat the streak. I was sitting there. We were given our WrestleMania predictions, and this is like a 13-year-old Will Yunker
Little
talk.
big boss man will.
Well, I had my Big Boss Man shirt on that day. So, little Big Boss Man, Will Yunker, talking with his family. And we had a little notepad out. My uncle Lee and my dad were all watching it. And we were like, it got to Taker versus Brock Lesnar. I didn't understand who the Undertaker really was or what the streak was. And everyone's going around the room. And, we had some money on the line or something. And some person got like $100 if they got all the predictions right. So we're going around, everyone's like Undertaker, Undertaker, Undertaker. All I know is Brock Lesnar beat the dog shit out of my hero John Cena at Extreme Rules and bloodied him up. So I was like, I'm going Brock Lesnar. This is the baddest dude on the planet. And everyone's like, no, 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 you can't pick Brock Lesnar. He's not beating the streak. And then so I had to pick The Undertaker. Little did did everyone know The Undertaker beat the streak that day. And it was one of the most shocking moments in professional wrestling, regardless of how you feel about it. So when he hit that tombstone on Obafemi, it was such a nostalgic moment for me, which it's hard to kind of it just means I'm getting older that like I'm getting these nostalgic moments and we'll get to that night two as well. But this was a very like, damn, like he just hit the tombstone onto the wood. That was a super cool spot for me. I was like, wow, that was like the perfect last move for Brock Lesnar to hit. And then Oba picks him up, fall from grace. There were some people upset he didn't spike him on the wood. Guys, did you want Brock Lesnar to die? Like the fall from grace is he's getting picked up thrown up in the air and slammed down. If that happened on straight wood, he would be in so much like hospital visit guaranteed. So for that being said, you know, it was a good match. I understand the complaints, but you also can't have unrealistic expectations going into a match
Hmm.
like this. And for all that being said, you have Brock coming out after the match saying that Oba is the future of the company and that Brock is the past. And for him to put Oba over, which Oba was like oddly like reluctant to do because I think he wanted Brock to have his moment. So for Brock to share that moment with Oba was really cool after the match. I am giving this match a thumbs up. And you want to know what, Brian? I would watch it again for
Ooh.
those nostalgic purposes. Like it is Brock Lesnar, regardless of how you feel about Brock Lesnar, and there's definitely a lot of controversy around his name. Brock Lesnar was such a big part of my childhood watching professional wrestling. Like when that music hit, you knew it was about to get
Yeah.
wicked for whatever face was sitting in that ring. And I hated Brock Lesnar growing up so much. He is like that that heel that you just hated, and he held the championship hostage. He would go away for months on end not defending it. And for some reason, I look back on this, I'm like, damn, I'm gonna kind of miss Brock Lesnar in professional wrestling. So yeah, that's how I feel about this one, Brian. How do you feel about it?
Boy, you're right when you say people's expectations for this need to be kept in check.
Yes.
M- We are never doing Mick Foley going up to the top of the cage and getting thrown off. We're never seeing Mick Foley get thrown through the cage. We're never going to see Undertaker and Shawn Michaels in the first Hell in the Cell. We're not going to see those things anymore. It's not going to happen. So expectations with Hell in the Cell matches need to be held in check just a little bit if people are looking for something crazy to happen. And it's funny because all of those things that got people so hyped for Hell in a Cell, all of those huge moments that sold it were things that were kind of like, yeah, Mick wasn't really supposed to fall through the cage that way. Maybe we shouldn't have let him get thrown off of the top through an announce table. Like those were all sketchy things at the time that they were like, yeah, we can't really do that again. So people have to get their expectation in check for that. That being said, as the match was going on, I was trying to see what new ways they were going to try to make being in the cell interesting without doing those things. And by the end of the match, when Brock is tearing up the ring and exposing the wood, I go, that's your moment of doing something different in this match that has a consequence. That's going to make you go, "Oh damn. Who's going into that exposed wood? Who's going through it?" They never fully pull off that spot because it's a different time now. But we do get the great tombstone pile driver. Brock goes full taker, and Oba kicks out of it. That is the right thing to do. Whether people are upset about this, if you're Braun Breaker and you're upset about this, I have bad news, Braun Breaker. Don't get hurt. Sorry, I don't mean to be that crass about it, but if you're booking and you have Braun Breaker on one trajectory and then you have a couple of injuries in a row and you're handed Obafemi on a silver platter, what are you gonna do? Like
Yeah.
this is a no-brainer. And I really hope my guy Jermaine had another great idea and he was like, look, Obafemi won King of the Ring. He goes, maybe it's time to have, King Oba and his court, or however you want to phrase that, and start having Obafemi collect superstars. And when he came out on Monday night and he was talking about, leading this new crop of superstars. Maybe they're on the verge of that. It made me think Survivor Series right away. I go, ooh, could you imagine a Survivor Series war game match where it's Oba and the new the new generation, the new generation, not the new old generation from the 90s, if you had the new generation with Oba and his court versus the old guard, that would be an awesome Survivor Series. Like that's the kind of thing that back in the day we would have done and it would have been awesome. A lot of stuff that they've been booking right now lends itself to a classic Survivor Series. Teams of 5 fight to survive, or teams of 4, which I always preferred better. I like 4 on 4. Um, you could do that. And like when you look at LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, I go, dude, this is easy to build a Survivor Series team for something like that, where you have LA Knight, the LA Knight captains the megastars versus Jacob Fatu and the Tongans. Like you could do, the Islanders. You can do anything like that, and it would be great. And that's something that I liked about this show.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like with Oba going over and him winning, we are on the verge of taking this new batch of superstars and pitting them against the old guard. And I
Mhm.
like that. I think there's a
Yeah.
lot of value in that, and it's super, super entertaining. I love that we get what I was hoping for a long time ago. I'm like, look, if they're going to do that third match in this, that's the time that at the end they have to have the show of respect. And they did that. So I was happy that they checked all those boxes. If we can just get one more Brock, just one more Brock Lesnar match with Gunther to have him properly retire him. I know it's not going to happen now because this is it. And maybe Brock didn't want to do the job to Gunther. Who knows? Yada, yada. Um, but it would be such a great storyline to get Oba and Gunther together at WrestleMania and not have a title involved. I feel like you could build to something with those two monsters that something has to give, and you don't need a title, and those are the best stories to do for those types of guys. Like Oba doesn't need a championship right now. He doesn't. What are you going to do if you put a championship on him different than what he's already doing? His job is to mow through people and establish himself, and he's doing that, and I'm happy to see it. So I give the match a thumbs up, but I don't think that I'm going to watch it again. Not because there was anything wrong with it,
Yeah.
just, it's not a Hell in the Cell that I'm going to go back to. There are so many before this that I would go to before this one.
Yeah. All right, Brian. Let's move on to night two. And our first match is Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn for the number one contendership for CM Punk's WWE Championship, or so we thought.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Aldis comes out
Mm-hmm.
and he declares it a triple threat because he's doing Gunther a favor, showing him that he's not playing favorites anymore. But then we have a huge return, making it a fatal four-way with Kevin Owens coming back.
Yes.
Such a cool moment. A few people thought that Kevin Owens would never wrestle again, or we'd be 4 years down the line before we could even think about seeing him. Year and a half comeback, and man, is professional wrestling better with Kevin Owens in it.
Yes.
He
Yes.
showed it in this match, and he showed it on Friday night in that promo with CM Punk, which was phenomenal promo battle. I'm looking forward to these two going at it. I hope it's not just a one-off thing here, and I'm really hoping they're not trying to have Sammy interfere in this match on August 21st. That's besides the point. I'm just really excited for those two to
Yeah.
go at it. I thought this match was okay. I did. I did not think it was great, but sometimes when you have these big things happen, the match doesn't have to be a 5 star.
Yep.
Sometimes the big thing happens, you make the right decision, and that's all you need. That's all you need. You don't need a 5 star classic to go with it. I feel bad for Finn Balor. I do. They be doing my guy Finn so bogus because I know people just want to see Finn with that belt one more time. It's just not going to happen in today's wrestling, probably. But me, along with all my other Finn Balor fans, are just going to keep our fingers crossed going forward. This match is a thumbs up. Will I watch it again? Oh gosh. I'd watch the pop that happened when Kevin Owens come back and maybe it. So I'm gonna go with thumbs down because
Yeah.
it's tough for me because I really love all four guys in this match. I just, man, I don't know if they needed like 5 more minutes to really get into it, or like the chemistry wasn't really there, which is so shocking with these four dudes. Because like you have Sammy and Kevin,
Yeah.
you have Kevin and Finn, you have Finn and Sammy, you have Sammy and Gunther, like a legendary feuds, especially with like those the first three, Finn and Sammy, Sammy and Kevin, Kevin and Finn have all feuded in NXT before, and like some of the greatest NXT feuds of all time. You think they would be able to pick that magic up, and you got a little bit of ring rust from Kevin in this match, and you kind of see it just a little bit. Glad he was able to wipe that ring rust off though, and he's the number one contender now, like I said, and I couldn't be more excited for this feud with him and CM Punk. It's just a breath of fresh air that was needed on SmackDown oh so desperately. And, part of that is Cody not being in the title scene anymore. And the other part of that is we got Kevin Owens back. And there's not many better professional wrestlers than Kevin Owens. So, Brian, what are your thoughts on this one?
Huge pop for Kevin Owens, and those are the types of surprises that work. And they played it right. Like it was a great little bit that, Nick Aldis comes out, sends out Gunther first. And
Yeah.
everybody's like, oh, this. And then he's like, wait. I guess, why shouldn't we make it a fatal four way? And then Kevin Owens comes out, huge pop. Everybody's excited. I was like, holy crap. How do we not hear about this one? It's a honest to God surprise. And no surprise, Kevin Owens goes over. But you're right that it did seem like the match just needed a couple more minutes. It felt like the ending wrapped
Yeah.
up very quickly. Um, which I guess, I mean, I don't know what was going on if they were like told you guys got to go home, come on. But it did seem like it wrapped up real quick at the end of the match. But I like that Kevin Owens won. It
Yeah.
adds some intrigue to the top of that card on SmackDown, especially with Sammy. Sammy is doing great work with this version of this quote unquote heel character that he's doing. It was
Yeah.
great on SmackDown last night with Kevin Owens and their little bit in
It
the
was.
back. And he's like, can you say sorry? And Kevin Owens is just like, okay, I guess I'm sorry. Like it was
Yeah.
really great. Like those two have such great chemistry together that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And again, dude, this is Attitude Era. We're going to do a fatal four way. We're going to bring out surprise guys who are making a return. It's good stuff. Like that's fun. Like everybody there should have been delighted, and it feels like they were. In the second night, it felt like the
Yeah.
crowd woke up a little bit. And we haven't even touched on that, by the way. Will and I could have drove our 5.5 hours to Minnesota and got seats for like $43 on either one of those two nights. So, you know what that means? We might be at Raw in Milwaukee in September if those ticket prices
Yeah.
keep going. That's what I'm talking about. Oh man, we are for real though, you guys. If we're there, we'll let you guys know. Um, so it's a good match. It was entertaining. Poor Finn Balor. Finn Balor is, again, he's a name who can take L's and it means something for who's beating him. Finn Balor, unfortunately, when he does get his W, we're all happy about it, but he'll also eat some L's.
He
But
will.
but it is but it still means something. And that's kind of a credit to these guys I was talking about earlier: Joe Hendry, Finn Balor, LA Knight, Royce Keys, Matt Cardona. All of these guys who take L's all the time, but are over. But people still want to see them. Like Matt Cardona comes on the screen and everybody loves him because it's hard not to love Matt Cardona. Like I don't care who you are. It's
Dude.
very like you're gonna have to struggle to come up with a reason why you don't like him. I love him and Chelsea Green. That's when we get to the Chelsea Green match, I'm gonna touch on that more. Um, but Finn Balor, the same thing. He's over, so it's a credit to those guys that they are able to eat losses and still stay over, and that's why they are where they are. Uh, so I'll give this match a thumbs up, but I'm not going to watch it again, though. But it was a fun match.
Trick Williams versus Baron Corbin for the US title, Brian. Thumbs down, and I'm not watching it again. This was stinky. It was just garbage. And you want to know what? This could have been one of the greatest nights of professional wrestling I've seen in a minute. In a minute. If this was Trick and Mello, if this was
Hmm.
Judge Trick and Mello, what are we doing? And then Baron Corbin wins. He wins. And then he beats him on SmackDown again? What? Why? Why? I don't dislike Baron Corbin, but they're making me dislike Baron Corbin. There's so much better stuff you can do with Baron Corbin. And there's nothing. There's nothing there. This match is so frustrating. It's not a good match either. And it sucks because they just ended one of my favorite US title reigns in recent memory too, with Trick Williams losing the belt, and now we don't. Is there no more Trick and Yachty? Like Trick and Yachty was one of my
Oh,
favorite things,
yes.
and we're just gonna end that for bum ass Baron Corbin. Maybe he's doing his job well because I feel this way,
Yeah.
but it's genuinely just not good. And we could have had Trick and Mello at SummerSlam, and instead we got this bull, and it's just it's a baffling decision. So I could go on all day about this, and we'd be here for like 30 minutes. So I'm not going to. I'm just going to give you the meanest double thumbs down of all time for this one. Brian, what are your thoughts?
This was like Roddy Piper versus the Mountie. Like it's just what are we doing? Trick is at the top of my list of one of the superstars who I love seeing Trick. Like there are very few times where you will get me during an entrance to join in with the crowd on TV and I'm at home bouncing around the house. One is Trouble, Trouble, that's me. Cherry lips and bad energy, and I will go all day. We will be singing. I'm gonna be singing that all day now. Another one is Whoop That Trick. It comes on. I'm just marching around the house. I'm grabbing something to eat. I go over to the fridge and I'm just whoop that trick. It's great.
It is, yeah.
Good energy. Trick is awesome. Uh, but then you have this match. I don't understand the booking. All it reminded me of, like this had all the markings again. It's a broken record for Brian Day. Attitude Era. Like it's like The Rock and Billy Gunn. The Rock had to go up there and basically bury Billy Gunn for them to be like, okay, we can't put Billy up there because he's not going to be able to hang with The
Yeah.
Rock. Where you go, what are we doing? You know, it's too bad that and Trick tries. Like he was trying to sell it on the promo and he was almost going full Rock. That's one of the best Rock promos when, Billy Gunn or the Dudley Boys come out and the Rock is just looking at him like, who in the blue hell are you? Like, I don't even know who you are. And
Yeah.
Trick was going down that road a little bit to try to sell that. It just feels like two guys who weren't meshing for a story, especially because it came out of nowhere, like you said. It came out of nowhere. And then you have Trick lose. Hopefully they can get this back on track with Trick. I'm sure they will, because you're not going to be able to hold Trick Williams down.
No.
So that's not going to happen. Uh, so yeah, thumbs down, and I'm not watching this match again. Move along.
All right, Brian. We've been waiting to talk about this one. We have the ladder match for the women's interim championship between Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair, Jade Cargill, Lash Legend, and the new interim champion, Chelsea Green. This match was, in terms of a ladder match, I think it was fine to good. There was a few moments where I was like, mostly Jade Cargill moments, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, there was moments where like Lash Legend for sure picked up for that, and like I think about her slamming Tiffany onto the ladder, that
Awesome.
was such a brutal
Awesome.
spot.
Yes.
Tiffany Tiffany took some tough ass bumps in this match. Like
Yep.
this I will give Jade credit for. When Chelsea pushed her off that ladder, it like she was trending down and down. I was like, who's gonna catch her on the side of her head? And Jade slid in and kind of caught her.
Yep.
That was definitely a pretty good save because it could have really got wicked for Tiffany. And
Yes.
it was all match. She took really tough bumps. She's probably the MVP of this match for me, outside of our new champion, of course, because the way that they built this up, they have her on the ladder about to win, and then you have Meechin and
Yep.
B-Fab come out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's it. Like they just totally knighted us. LA Knight was up there with the briefcase three
Yep.
years ago. I was like, they did it again, and then they have her laying there on the ladder, and then she finally pops back up. She
Yeah.
goes and she gets the championship, and the loudest pop probably all weekend is Chelsea
Yes.
Green getting that championship, and it's so well deserved because you want to know what you've been talking a lot about the jobbers of the world, and like you know it's very Miz like. The Miz does exactly what he's told to
Yep.
do. Chelsea Green does exactly what she's told to do, and they don't complain about it.
Nope.
Just do their job. And you want to know what? The Miz is a two-time Grand Slam champion, one of a handful in WWE history. And that's because he did exactly what he was told.
Hmm.
And Chelsea,
And did it well. That
and
like that's
extremely
the
well.
thing. You have to be able to do it well, and the Miz can do it well.
Yeah, our truth, 20
Yep.
plus year career
Yes.
on doing exactly what he's told and doing it well. You were talking a little bit about, you know, Royce Keys is a name I think about too. Like that dude, he jobs it out a little bit, but Royce Keys will have his moment.
Yep.
He will.
Yes,
He will.
sir.
You just have to eat sometimes, and Chelsea has ate a lot of it. So for
Hmm.
her to climb that ladder, that's how you get that reaction. So credit to her. I love that she took that shot in the press conference after, just
Yeah.
letting people know that like, hey, I was exactly what you said I was, but now look at me. So that is an iconic promo from her. And I'm really excited to see what they do here. She is going to lose to Rhea. She is, but until then, let's have fun with this one because it's gonna be, I mean, it's Chelsea Green, Brian. How can we
Yeah.
complain about this? So what are your thoughts on it, Brian?
You going big thumbs up?
Double. Double. I'm watching it just for her
Yes.
to climb the ladder again.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Dude, Will, there are very few times where I will jump up out of my seat and legit be cheering when professional wrestling does things right.
Yeah.
Um, when Liv returned and her music hit and she kicks Cena in the nuts. When her music hit, then when she came back, I was like, yes, this is amazing. I was so happy. Um, when Chelsea Green started going up that ladder that last time, and I'm like, oh, no,
It's
she's gonna do it.
Chelsea
She's gonna, and but there's
Green.
you're going, but she's not. She's not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Chelsea Green is not going to do it. And as she's getting up there, everybody pops. That crowd went crazy. I went crazy. We all love Chelsea Green. And that was such a well earned moment. And I was so happy. This, I think, is the match of all of SummerSlam for me. It,
I
it,
love that.
it felt the best. Everybody did a good job in this match. Jade Cargill, congratulations, Jade Cargill. You're not in the donkey squad anymore. You are a part of this roster. I do not look at you as a story liability or a match liability. Um, she has come into her own, and I'm so happy to see it. It took longer than we were hoping for it to, um, but she is getting there, and I think she has gotten to the point enough that we can put her in a ladder match and she's not a liability in it. Um,
Mhm.
because they're learning, or she's learning, do the things you can do very well and don't try to do too much. And even in a ladder match where you go, ooh, this could get kind of sticky for her, she was able to do it. It was great. Tiffany Stratton was great. I think the way that the match was booked, they told a great story because there was a couple of times where you thought Chelsea could do it, and then she finally does. It was great. I loved it.
We got Danhausen versus Dominic Mysterio. Human money's on a pole match, which I'm not gonna lie to you, I did have a good laugh watching this match. And it's always comedy with Danhausen. I love El Torito, who is one
Yes.
of the Minniehausens, and he is actually such a talented wrestler. Shady McDonough was vicious during this match with the
Yes.
Minniehausens, and some of the slams he was giving out were just like, my my gosh, dude, like you have to relax, my guy. No, I enjoyed certain aspects of this match. The human money's on the pole is a hilarious concept. The fact that they were selling Danhausen dollars on WWE Shop is also hilarious.
Hmm.
And you know, I'm sitting here, I'm talking myself into it, and I guess the match itself is fine. I'm just so exhausted with Dominic Mysterio right now and the role that he is in. It's so tiring to watch such a talented young superstar just lose human monies on a pole match to Danhausen. And if it's human monies on a pole, he probably should lose, man. He probably should. It's it's so ridiculous, but I just have so much faith in Dominic Mysterio, and I think you do too, Brian. To
Yeah.
see him in a position like this, where his first SummerSlam matches were Seth Rollins, his debut match. He has the involvement with Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley in one of the greatest storylines in the
Yes.
recent history. He wrestles AJ Styles at SummerSlam, and now it's human money's on a pole. And I'm just like, I'm so frustrated with the direction of him. And like you said, not everybody can be the top guy. And sometimes you got to eat. And he is definitely eating it right now with stuff like this. It's no disrespect to Danhausen. I just think that there's so many guys that can fill that role for Dom, and Dom can be doing more important things. We're just not there yet, I don't think. There's such a log jam at the top. So I'm kind of talking myself through this. Human Money's on the Pole was hilarious. It was. And you know what? I'm the guy that's always like wrestling is the escape. And maybe I was marking out a little bit while watching this match over Dominic. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. I'm not gonna
Ooh.
watch it again. I'm not. I'm just not because I get so frustrated with the direction of Dominic Mysterio. But maybe I was marking out because as I was watching this match, I was dying laughing with my brother Henry and my
Hey,
dad.
Hen.
So
Miss you,
yeah,
buddy.
yeah. Brian,
Oh.
you you didn't even have to speak to me and you talked me through my thoughts. So let us know how you're feeling, Brian.
Look, Dom has been in this business for over 30 years. He'll get through this. He hasn't been in a match this silly since he was hanging in a shark cage for parental rights or whatever the
Custody
hell
of
that was.
Dominic Mysterio
Like,
match.
you know what I mean? Custody of Dom. So
Yeah.
if anybody can work through this and come out on the top, somebody with the longevity that Dom Mysterio has had in this business can do it. Um, Danhausen has to be on the show somehow because Danhausen is over and they make lots of human monies off of Danhausen. Like you said, not only do they make human monies off of Danhausen, they're selling Danhausen human monies and making more human monies. Like that is some sort of
Oh,
Danhausen inception with money. that I can't even figure out. I'm like Alan in The Hangover right now trying to count cards. I can see all of the mathematics going through my brain that it makes it hurt. Dom will be fine after this. I know he probably wasn't thrilled about this match. Again, uh, putting something on a flagpole is something we loved in the Attitude Era. Stephanie knows all about that. And The Rock. Like, we would put all kinds of stuff on flagpoles, pink slips, all kinds of stuff would go on flagpole matches back in the day. So, gave me the feels because it felt Attitude Era very much. Was it entertaining? Yes. Uh, do we need to get past the mini housings? Yes. I think we have to evolve into something else now. The mini housings, I feel like, may have worn out their welcome. Uh, so there's that. But I wasn't dissatisfied with it. I didn't walk away from the match disliking Danhausen. And I think maybe that's the best thing to take away from it. The moment when they do one of these things and I go, I'm sick of Danhausen, that's when it's going to be trouble. And I don't think, trouble, trouble, that's me. I don't think they're there yet. Uh, so I'm fine with it. It was entertaining. It was fun. Uh, there are kids who are watching, like, because wrestling is really turning into uh, a generational form of entertainment. Look at us. We come from two totally different eras of wrestling that we watched, and we're doing a podcast talking about today's product and how we feel about it. That says something about professional wrestling, but it doesn't mean that everybody has to be an adult because there's people in their 40s, there's people in their 20s, and there's kids. And you just can't forget about them all the time. And if you were a kid, this is probably going to be one of your favorite matches on the card because it's Danhausen. It's a gimmick match. I'm a sucker for gimmick matches because I'm a kid at heart. So I'm fine with it. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I really was hard for me to decide, but I am going to go a thumbs up for the match because it was entertaining. But I'm not watching it again, and that's okay because I still love Danhausen. I still love Dom.
Brian, our next two matches are kind of where this really elevates for me. And this was a good night of pro wrestling. But these next two matches for me are some of my favorites in recent memory. Let's start off with Penta versus Chad Gable for the Intercontinental Championship. Brian, we've kind of talked about Penta a lot on this channel
Hmm.
and on our journey, and kind of how shaky at the start, but you've said it. He's leveled up, he's
Yep.
adjusted,
Yep.
and he's really showed that over this IC championship reign. And this match versus Chad Gable was his best of his whole title reign. It was. And
Agreed.
I really enjoyed this match. It is the perfect blend of styles. You have Penta working that very like lucha libre heavy style, but also Penta is a little different because he is a bigger luchador.
Right.
So all these power moves that Chad Gable is hitting make it look so much more impressive. And Chad Gable is maybe one of the best technical wrestlers on the whole planet, and he shows it in this match. If I were to highlight a few things, it's the chain wrestling at the beginning of the match is almost perfect. The Mexican Destroyer on the apron, although it didn't hit all the way, I almost like that more.
Yeah.
Wade Barrett did a really good job recognizing it right away. And this was not a strong show for Wade Barrett or Michael Cole, in my opinion. Like they kind of were all over the place, it felt like,
Yes.
especially Michael Cole. Like I felt like Wade had to like loop him back in a few
Yes.
times.
I agree.
But Wade was like, he didn't hit it all the way. He didn't hit it all the way. And then the pin happens and he kicks out and he's like, this would be over if he did.
Yeah.
So it almost makes that feel so much more important. And that was a good job by Wade Barrett. And, it it just kind of sold the whole match better because then Chad kicks out and he gets him into the ankle lock. And when Chad Gable sits into that ankle lock,
Yes.
Penta does a great job of immediately tapping out, showing the pressure that it brings when he really sits into it.
Yes.
That's great selling, and both of these two sold their off for each other all match long. And this was one of my favorite matches for a mid card title since maybe Sheamus and Gunther at Clash at the Castle all the way back then. Like, this was such a phenomenal match. This is a thumbs up, and I'm watching it again. The only thing I do not like is what was the mug root beer dog doing at the end of the match? So stupid. Let the man celebrate with his family. We're talking like 10 plus years in the making. Chad Gable hunting down this title. He
Yes.
finally gets it. And such a my brother Henry pointed this out. Such a poetic moment for him to become El Grande Americano, the OG, lose to El Grande Americano,
Yep.
come back and beat one of the greatest luchadors of all time for the belt is just super, super full circle moment. And then to go into the ring and recreate like a eerily like similar speech that El Grande Americano did when he beat
Yep.
him is
Yep.
just perfect poetic wrestling. And you ruin it with the dog from Mug Root Beer. What are we doing, WWE? Stop selling out on these moments. Like, it was so dumb, Brian. But I've wiped that out my brain and then
Yeah.
not letting it affect anything that happened during the match. So this is a double thumbs up for me, Brian. How about you?
Yeah, this match, you hit the nail on the head about Penta. Um, we have gone on a journey with Penta, and not to pat ourselves on the back too much, but we're very fair. We always, if we talk about anybody on this podcast or we say we don't think that they're up to snuff or we expect more, we always qualify that with we're rooting for you because if you can do it, you're making everything else better. Um, and Penta was one of those guys where we're like, we don't see it right now. I was particularly hard on Penta, and I was hoping that I would be wrong, and I'm glad that he proved me wrong. I think it just took him a while to adjust to the WWE style. This was amazing. This was an amazing match. Chad Gable, I am down with Chad Gable. I love this face turn that he did. Um, Everybody go back. If you haven't watched the Mask versus Mask match between El Grande Americano and original El Grande Americano, Will and I did a watch along. Go back into our archives, find that watch along. It was a lot of fun to do. It was our first one, but that match is amazing. So far, that is still match of the year. That it might be. I'm going to say something super controversial. That story between those two may be the best story and best match and best payoff since Cody finished his story with Roman Reigns. There. I said it, hot take, but I will debate somebody about that because that thing was money and it was
It
fire
was good.
and Chad Gable was great and that is how you tell a story. That is how you turn face by doing what he did, showing the proper respect, giving the kudos to the victor, uh, selling his, busting his in the ring and leaving it all there gets the crowd on your side, even when you're supposed to be a heel. And by the end of that mask versus mask, we all love Chad Gable just as much as any other babyface. And him taking that momentum and going forward with it feels so much better than him being a heel. It feels so much better having a face Chad Gable with the type of energy that he can bring. Penta was great in it. They told a great story. They worked phenomenally well together. And by the end of it, it was an amazing moment to see Chad Gable win in Minnesota. It was another one of the moments that we talked about where we get family in there and it's a big thing. And that takes us to me putting down my Uno reverse
Reverse!
card. I'm putting down my Uno reverse card on the Shockmaster moment. I'm taking away the Terry Funk moonsault, and I am putting down a Shockmaster moment. The fucking mug root beer dog.
Dude.
Okay, Will, so he gets up there, and I'm like, who is that? Is that going to come off? Is this the gingerbread man bullshit? What the hell are we doing again? Wait a minute. Is that is that a mug root beer dog? What? Why is he so tall and skinny? This
Yeah.
what is he handing? He's handing Chad Gable mug root beer. He's not going to do it. Oh God, Chad Gable is doing the mug root beer like Stone Cold would do real beer, and I'm like, I don't like this. I don't need it there. I don't need that type of product placement. You know why? Because for half a second, I thought the mug root beer guy was going to sucker punch Chad Gable and that mask was going to come off and it was going to be somebody. That's the part that drove me nuts because it was weird. That's the true Shockmaster moment. Uh, but I'm giving the match a huge thumbs up. And hell yes, I'm watching this match again. It was a great wrestling match, told a great story, and hopefully it's something we look back at going forward and we go, man, that match was a super important match in this Chad Gable fill in the blank or Penta, either one of them. I think that
Yeah.
Penta came out looking great too, which is always the sign of a great match when both guys or girls come out looking great at the end. So high marks for this match.
All right, Brian, we got our main event of SummerSlam, and I feel some type of way about this match right here. We got the champion Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, the last dance between the two. And Ryan, you said it earlier, this is my greatest match since WrestleMania 40. This is
Okay.
my this is my childhood wrapped up into one moment right here. And that's why I feel so strongly about this match.
Hmm.
Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins are two guys for me who are in my Mount Rushmore conversation for two completely separate reasons. Roman Reigns is one of the greatest characters to ever come from professional wrestling. Like the tribal chief completely erases the big dog, which is one of the worst
Yeah.
characters in professional wrestling history. To come from that to what he is now is crazy. And Seth Rollins is one of the greatest in-ring talents of all time, along with the character development he's also seen, the Monday Night Messiah, the visionary, and he was the authority guy with
Hmm.
Triple H there for a little bit. He's had so many different characters, and to see these two finally have this last match versus each other, I don't think they could have put on a better last match. Was it a finisher fest? Yes, but I think we could all expect that going in. Roman Reigns had to empty the tank to finally get Seth Rollins off of his back. Seth has beaten him every time, and it shows everything that Roman had to do to finally beat Seth. And there were so many great spots in this match, but none better than Roman Reigns showing Seth that he has finally beat him. And it wasn't by pinning him, it was by when he had the opportunity to avenge what happened 13 or so years ago and hit him in the back with the steel chair. And he drops the chair and he gives him the spear. And that was so, like, we talk about wrestling being poetic all the
Hmm.
time. That was one of my like most poetic moments in wrestling for me because I was like, damn, it's really over. Like it's over. And he finally beat him and he finally proved that he is the greatest member of the Shield. And for me, that was the perfect ending to this match. On top of that, they're staring at each other across the ring, sitting down at the end, and they both get up. Seth throws the mask in the middle to represent Dean Ambrose, and they do the shield fist bump in the middle. The perfect ending to one of the longest, best storylines in professional wrestling between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. It is perfect. If you have not seen it, you have to go watch it. It is a phenomenal 5-star match. with a 5-star ending. And is the technical wrestling 5 stars? No, but it doesn't have to be all the time because you have some of the best in-ring storytelling from two of the best in-ring storytellers of all time. Double thumbs up for me, Brian. How are you feeling about this one?
So I go into this match and I appreciated that they were trying in the build up for this match, they were giving us the different parts to the story. Anybody who doesn't know the story of the Shield, doesn't know the story of Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, and doesn't know all of the history that goes into that, like me, somebody who wasn't watching when that was going on. I have since caught up to know all of that history, but I appreciated that they were giving new fans
Yeah.
that catch up for that. I always appreciate when they do that. The high watermark I still think is WrestleMania 6 on our retro rewatch, where you said
Yes.
that it was invaluable that each match they were giving you all the build-up package, and it really helps. Um, Knowing the history that they have, knowing the type of workers that both of these guys are, they, as the match went on, it got better and better and better. The match was a slow burn that took you in a couple different directions. You thought it started out as not a blood feud, but just pure hatred that these two have for each other. It started out with hatred, then it started to evolve into it's not hatred, it's both of these guys want to be the top competitor. Then it went from they each want to be the top competitor to those two understanding the history that they have and a respect that happened. Then
Mhm.
once we got to the respect level, the match continued and it ended with let the best man win. There is no more shield stuff. There is no more uh I have to get one back on you. There is all of that went out the window in the moment when Roman Reigns throws the chair away. And they decided all of that stuff doesn't matter. What matters right now is us going at this as men and who is going to come out on top. And because that match had different layers to it and it took you on that ride and told that story, it's a brilliant piece of storytelling. And I will be damned if they didn't finally use a spot that I have been talking about for a year and a half, Will. For a year and a half, I have come on this fucking podcast and told everybody go back to WrestleMania 8 and watch Roddy Piper versus Bret Hart and see how you tell a match between two guys who are quote unquote face characters, how you do that match right about two guys who have a history together, two guys who go way back, and two guys who are going to go in and tell a story in a match and make it work in that WrestleMania 8 match. Everybody go back and watch that. It's a great match. There is a moment where they're going back and forth between Bret Hart and Roddy Piper. The referee gets knocked down. Piper goes out. He gets the ring bell and he's going to hit Bret with it. He's going to do that to win the match. And the crowd, he's kind of waiting. He's selling it just right to get the crowd reaction to see are they going to be cheering? Are they going to be booing? And the crowd doesn't want him to use that ring bell. That's not the way they want this match to be won. And Piper looks at it and then he throws it down. The crowd pops because in that moment, you got him now. You got everybody is glued to what you're going to do next because you could have cheated. You could have done that, but we didn't want you to. And you did what we wanted. And that means something. And Roman having the chance to use that chair exactly like Piper and that ring bell. He sold it just long enough that part of you is thinking, yep, here it comes. And then when he throws it down, you're like, that is the right thing to do. That is the right move. And at that moment, that's when that match went from a great match to a classic match. I still don't think it's better than El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano,
Yeah.
but it's close.
It
This
is.
is the closest that we have gotten to that great Roman and Cody match. And it was awesome. It was a great match, especially for somebody who didn't get to live through that. It still meant something to me, which
Yeah.
speaks volumes. So because of that, big thumbs up and hell yes, I'm watching that match again. Absolutely, that's going to happen.
Yeah, Brian. I mean, this is
I got the numbers, Will, if that's what
you
you're
got you
thinking.
got
I
him?
got it. All right.
Let me know.
So Will, by a score of 9 thumbs up to only 3 down, Will gives this pay-per-view a big thumbs up. And by a score of 7-5, he's watching it again. So, Will, big thumbs up on both. For Brian, boy, it's so weird, Will. 9 thumbs up and 3 down, just like you. I'm giving this show a big thumbs up, which is shocking because in the moment it didn't completely feel like it, but as a whole, the numbers don't lie. It's a
They
good
don't.
show, but mine are flip flopped for watching it again. I only have 5 thumbs up to 7 down. I'm not going to watch it again, but this was a really great show.
Yeah, it was, and it is a consistent theme that Triple H gets together for SummerSlam
Yeah.
every year.
Yes.
He really does. Dude struggles with these 50
Yes.
on some manias, but man, he'll get his together for SummerSlam.
Yep.
So yeah, what a good show, and we followed it up with a good Raw and a good
Yep.
SmackDown. Feels like we're
Yeah.
back. We're
We might
back
be
on
back,
the
Will.
track. I I said we're back. I'm just gonna keep my fingers crossed
Yep.
that I don't look stupid in a week, and when we get back
No.
on here. But man, I really do enjoy
Yep.
when wrestling is good. It's super exciting, and there's a lot to look forward to here on WWR. Guys, we have a stretch here. A stretch here. We don't have a
Yes.
premium live event until October 3rd. I'm
Yep.
telling you guys. So we are going to get all this content in that we've been looking forward to. It was from Mania until now. It was a huge
Yes.
stretch of premium live events. Now we got time to catch up on some of the stuff that you guys want to see. So please do us a favor and comment down below. Or Brian, I heard we got a phone number that they can text and call.
We got a phone number, you guys. You could either call or text 1-414-600-7049. Call it, text us, let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you think of SummerSlam. Let us know if there's any topics you guys want to talk about. That's what we're here for. You guys can leave a message for any one of our podcasts. What other podcasts do we have, Will?
We have Realm Paranormal Podcast and we have Realm on Film as well. And Brian, I heard that we got something else that we need to talk about here at the end of this podcast. I heard we might have a message.
Yeah, we got a little message from Rick the Model Martel. I'm going to send it over to the model.
Haha, you want to smell like a model but not break the bank? Then go to cologneranger.com. All of your favorite designer fragrances for less. Go to cologneranger.com. You won't be disappointed. Trust me, I'm a model.
That was the model Rick Martel. He's telling you guys, if you guys want to smell like a model, you take his advice and you go over to cologneranger.com and get yourself some fragrances. Go over to the Realm Paranormal Podcast, see what we got cooking over there. Go to Realm on Film. We got Sinners, Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, and coming up soon, we're going to have the sequel to Ready or Not. We really liked the first one. So
Okay.
go out, watch the sequel, everybody, and then come over and see what we think about it.
Yeah, Brian, I'm trying to think of something to give these great people on the way out, but it's been really tough for me to kind of track something. But you want to know what we haven't done in a very long time?
Don't do it.
Man, Ricochet,
Well, you
Ricochet.
You literally went into my head and pulled my thought out because I was going to leave everybody with. We said that this is a great slummer, that this is a great SummerSlam pay-per-view. And I think one of the reasons is there's no Ricochet on it, so it can't be all bad, everybody. Next time.
Love you guys.
I get it. Now I
His
get why
feelings were-
Vince was like,
his
I don't want
feelings
any
were
damn
really-
free birds. Yeah.
Yeah, his feelings were like super hurt by that whole situation, probably because
Dude, check out the hat. I finally wore this bastard down. I like this match. Excuse me. Everybody knows I'm Mr. Liv Morgan. God, man, I got the burpees because we're doing morning time. Got my coffee. Okay, I'm good now. I think I got it out. Now we get the summer. See, burpees again. Now I got Rikishi mad at me. Does she really have fans? Like
yeah,
she
ad
does.
fans. Huge.
I don't believe it. I don't
Yeah.
believe it. Like, no, pal, we don't need any. I'm not having any damn free birds, huh? You know, and then Michael Hayes shows up and he has a free bird on his writing staff.